So my first question is, how would you describe your sound? I've kind of seen a few different descriptors from different kind of, festivals and companies and all that kind of thing.
It's a hard one to actually pocket. So I joined the band back in October 24, and listening to their first EP and learning the stuff, you had two very distinct sounds to it, the sort of heavier and the more pop punk sound. And recently we were on a show. Have you heard of BSB TV?
Yes, yeah.
So Ben and Danny are really picking us up at the moment. We went to Song of the Month back in November, and they just said, we can't put an influence on this. They sound like RiotWeekend.
Yeah, this is it.
But comments have come in that Holly's got a very pop-esque 90s pop vocals.
Yeah.
With alt rock, pop punk instrumentals, and somebody mentioned Evanescence, and then that made me think, you know what, are we something between that sort of pop punk, Blink-182 sort of Simple Plan, but with a more Evanescence style vocal?
Yeah, that's probably a good way of looking at it.
And then I've said to the guys, are we potentially a UK version of A Day to Remember? Not quite as heavy, but we sort of mix that metal.
Yes, yeah.
Punk. And to take it further, you only need to look at our sort of backgrounds and what our interests are. So me, I'm very much, I love my pop punk, but if you ask me my top bands, Thrice, Alexis on Fire, that sort of stuff.
Yes.
Sleep Token, and that sort of, and Architects, and that sort of mainstream metal.
Yes.
Ollie, very much pop punk, and Rabi is a bit of a mixture.
Okay.
So you bring them together, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It seems to be a lot more common a thing these days of bands not necessarily fitting into one specific genre as well. Like obviously you mentioned Sleep Token and the kind of controversy they've had over the last couple of years of, are they metal and all this kind of thing. But I don't think it particularly matters as much anymore.
From our point of view, is it listenable and is it fun to listen to? Great. I couldn't care less what box it goes into.
Exactly.
Is it good? And yeah, I mean, the guys at BSB were saying you get a lot of bands that do this, that they're very pushing for the Bring Me the Horizon sound, or they're pushing for that all-time low sound. And they said it was nice to see, and it was refreshing to see artists doing something that was their own.
Yeah, definitely. And then the new EP's out a couple of weeks' time, right?
The 27th.
Yes. You've got a couple of songs out from it already, right? Is Harry on it as well?
Yeah, so Harry's the first single that we released back on the 1st of November. And then Days in December was released in January. I don't know why. So those two were released. And we are also releasing Smile as a single.
Oh, cool.
I can't remember if it's on the same day or the week before, but we've got a video coming out on that as well.
That'd be cool. How many tracks is the EP? Sorry, I assume it's 4, right?
This one's 4, yeah. Yeah, this one's a 4-tracker.
What can we expect from Smile and the other track compared to the 2 singles so far?
So, Autumn Leaves, much more pop punkier. So, have you heard the first EP?
Yes, yeah.
So, Never Again and Fine, I would say Autumn Leaves fits in that sort of bracket of the pop punk side, cool. And that brings out our much more pop punk. Smile is, I would say, in line with Harry. Cool. But it's jointly our favourite track on the EP. That we're really excited for that to come out.
Nice. Definitely looking forward to hearing that one then.
Yeah, that's definitely the best one on the EP.
And what's the kind of writing process like for you guys? I know obviously you've touched on bringing together all these different influences and stuff like that.
I mean, most of the tracks that I've come to were already written. The main new song written from scratch was Smile.
Okay.
And Smile, it's going to sound mad, but like, we organised a writing session on a day. I was at work during the day, and by the time I got back, both Rabi and Tom had essentially completed a whole track. They put drums using what's it, Easy Drummer or whatever it is.
Yes.
I then make alterations to those drums slightly just to bring it back into my taste, but they had essentially done the whole track in a day. And what we tend to find is they'll get a riff and then they just go with it.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. And is there more writing still going on, even though the EP is kind of, yeah?
Without saying too much, it's a bit of a secret, but yes, there's a lot of tracks in the background that are being...
Cool.
Yeah, we want to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, this is it. I was going to kind of ask, like, what went into the decision to drop an EP as opposed to, you know, the kind of favoured dropping singles constantly structure, or, you know, the kind of more album-based thing. Like, it's such a hard decision these days.
For us, it was kind of easy. I think, 3 of the tracks had been there for quite some time. Basically, the band... There's been quite a few change-up in the lineups for a mixture of reasons. You had COVID. You then had, unfortunately, one of the old members had health problems. So you've had things like that just sort of distracted the band. And they had these tracks in the background, and they're like, look, we kind of want to get these out. And rather than just drop them one by one, let's do them collectively with a new song.
Yes.
And then we'll carry on work with the other stuff. So this EP buys a little bit of time to do something else for the end of the year or next year or something else. Basically.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And they hadn't dropped a song for quite some time, so...
Yes, I did notice that when I was looking for stuff the other day.
Have a bundle all in one go.
Yes, yeah. It's always a good way of... I like, as much as I understand the whole let's drop singles every couple of months or so, it's so much nicer to be able to dive into a handful of tracks and really kind of see what the band's about, as opposed to just trying to get that, you know, TikTok 10 seconds or whatever.
I mean, I don't know too much on how the guys like to listen to their music, but I'm an LP guy, and I still buy CDs. I will go out. I like having the sleeves and everything.
Yes.
You know, I think I've got about 1,000 CDs.
Oh, wow.
And they are all in my music. There's probably, out of every album I have on my phone, there's probably 20 albums that I bought off iStore. The rest are all CDs.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And I like listening to bundles of tracks all in one go. So I think the next one might be we're going to work on maybe something a bit longer. The guys at BSB were saying that LPs seem to be coming back.
Yeah, it does feel like it, actually, to be fair.
Yeah. So we're going to try and work on something a bit longer, I think, the next one.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Definitely. And then what would you kind of say the state of the kind of local scene is at the minute? I know we're very much more geared towards the kind of hard rock metal side of things. That's doing okay. You know, we cover a little bit of country and that's doing pretty good, but actually we're not, like, outside of seeing like slam dunk lineups and going to that sort of level of stuff, we're not massively involved in the kind of alt pop punk thing. So,
and where is it that you're based?
Derby. So it's quite hard to get any bands through here these days.
I think the problem, so obviously over Guildford Way, Guildford, London, there is a scene for like the heavier stuff. So, for example, if you go up to New Cross, played a couple of venues up there, and the New Cross Inn, which we played early last year, they do really well on metal nights.
Oh, cool.
And not just normal metal, I mean death metal.
Yeah.
Job for a Cowboy style stuff, you know, which
cool.
I'm into. I listen to that stuff. But it's packed out. Their venue is...
That is surprising, to be fair.
Well, we played the Amersham Arms back in October, and the New Cross Inn had a show that night, death metal. It was rammed.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. And I was sat there going, really? I think the biggest problem, however, is... It's hard to say because I don't want to offend certain people, because there are some really good promoters out there and some really good venues. You know, we work a little bit with Boiler Room in Guildford. They seem to pack out their venue no matter what type of music they... Jasta Gigs, who is run by a friend of mine, he seems to do really well on his nights.
Cool.
But a lot of venues and a lot of promoters expect you, the artist, to do things. And that's where it becomes difficult.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
I grew up in Woking, Guildford, at an era where You Me at Six had only just started off.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I mean, I used to know Max quite well. In fact, I'm still friends with the original drummer.
Cool.
And you know, Enter Shikari. They played Guildford College at a Battle of the Bands.
Oh wow.
And in that era, I used to put on shows, and it was very much I would find an artist that I knew would sell the venue out, maybe two, and then I would have two or three others that I expected nothing from.
Yeah.
Put them on, and I would build them up, and I had artists that built up that way that I could then put them on headlining those venues.
Yeah, this is it.
That doesn't happen anymore. And we're finding that promoters do barely any promotion. You've got all these Facebook pages for local pages where you don't see the posters put up unless you, the band, do it.
Yeah, true.
You know, we've dealt with the likes of More Sound, Underground Sound, all of that, and they are known for screwing bands over, and that is exactly what happened when we played at the Amersham Arms. You know, the lineup wasn't announced until the week of the show.
Oh my god. Yeah,
there was no advertisement done by them, and we were the ones who brought the most people there, bearing in mind we're from Guildford, you know, Hampshire, Surrey borders, coming to New Cross.
Yeah, this is it.
So yeah, it's struggling, but we are noticing pop punk, alt rock is there. It's popular.
Yeah. So there's definitely a love for it. I just think it seems that hard to get people out to shows these days for whatever reason. Even if it's kind of a show geared towards more younger people, they just don't seem as interested as they were even pre kind of COVID times.
They'll go up to the O2, they'll go up to Kentish Town, and they'll watch a band that is known.
Yeah.
And they almost forget that those bands started off where we are.
Yeah.
Playing local scene. We are noticing a bit of a pickup in cover bands or tribute acts.
Yes. Yeah.
Massive pickup in those. I mean, we're playing Shinefest this year, and they've got some fantastic tribute bands, but a lot of it is tribute bands. Same with Guildfest. We're playing Guildfest, and it's the same there. A lot of tribute bands playing.
Yeah.
In fact, the best show we played last year was with Not Green Day.
Oh yeah.
And the venue was packed, and we had a packed venue to play to, and we did really well that night. Merch sales we sold out, and what we've noticed is actually let's try and get on the lineups with quite a few of these tribute bands because.
Yeah, I do think it's a good way of getting your name out there these days. Because I know, in Derby we've got kind of two big-ish venues, and both of them now it's probably easily a 50-50 split of newer bands to tributes, if not leaning more towards the tribute side of things. But it's where it's brings the crowd in, you know.
It's songs that people can sing along to. And, of course, when we think of the early 2000s, a lot of those people now, to an extent, they have a disposable income, which is why you've seen a revival of the likes of Yellow Card and Blink and everyone.
Yes.
Why you've seen that revival, but at the same time, those of us that may not have the money to go and see those shows, the next best thing is a really good tribute act.
True.
And if you can then see a band that because we mix it up a little bit. We do quite a few covers as well, just for a bit of fun. Your usual Teenage Dirtbag.
Yes, yeah.
The Middle, Jimmy Eat World, and it works. And we are moving away from the covers, and we are seeing that actually when we do open for a tribute band, the fans are there.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
They then get your name, and all of a sudden it's, they'll come and see us next time.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And kind of speaking of live stuff, have you got a busy rest of the year planned kind of promoting the EP? I know you've announced a couple of festivals. I've seen a tour poster or so.
Yeah, so we've got coming up this month. We've got the EP release on the 28th, so literally the day after.
Yes.
And we're sort of doing it as an EP release stroke mine and Rabbi's birthday, because Rab's birthday was on the 10th. Mine is actually the day after the EP show, so we sort of said let's do it as a joint thing. We've then got a Battle of the Bands that we're doing in Gillingham on the 30th.
Oh, cool.
So the guys have to sing Happy Birthday to me twice.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Then we've got Shinefest, Guildfest, Chesham Fringe Festival.
Oh, cool.
And there's a couple of shows that we're working on in the background as well.
Nice. That sounds good. Do you have a dream tour lineup you'd want to be a part of? Anyone kind of immediately spring to mind to support, or some friends you want to kind of bring along on the road as well?
Are we talking dreamers in who we would like to play with, like an out of this world?
Yes, yeah, I tend to gear it more towards that.
So if it was established bands, me personally, anything with Dallas Green. So Alexis on Fire. So if it was a lineup of 4, for me it would have to be Alexis on Fire, Thrice, Blink-182.
That'd be good.
Bit different, I know.
Yeah. Very good lineup though.
It is. I'm actually seeing Thrice next week, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I recently got back into them again with. Was it last year they put out a new album? I was checking it out. I was like, oh yeah, how have I not listened to these guys for so long? They're so good.
Can you believe that they are still and always have been the original lineup?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Absolutely insane. But no, for me, every time Thrice and Alexis come over and City in Colour, I will be there, and I will be at the front every time.
Yeah.
So them. I think the guys would probably mention a couple of different bands. I think from Tom, you'd probably get, I'm just guessing here, Sleep Token, Architects, that sort of stuff. And from Holly, I reckon you'd get Blink-182, Green Day.
Nice.
Ravi, I'm not, because he's got a very range.
Yes.
I don't know.
I feel like you'd probably quite comfortably fit on any of those bills though, which is pretty cool.
And this is what we were told by BSB. You could chuck us with any band because we've got that everything from pop punk to the heavier alt rock side. You could chuck us on with anything, and we were selected to participate for the Metal for the Masses.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Unfortunately, they gave us a date. They then cancelled that date last minute.
Yeah.
One of us had taken work off for it as well. And then every day they've given us since, it's just we're not going to take work off for it. And we just haven't been able to. So that was the London one. We're waiting to hear back from the Bournemouth one. They asked us for dates and then went quiet.
Oh, wow.
But even the fact that you were selected for 2 of those means that although we're quite soft, they clearly believe that you've just said. So,
and then as kind of a lighter final question, if you could have written one song from the past, any kind of immediately spring to mind?
Me personally?
Yes. Yeah, I've had all sorts for this as well. So
there is a song, I always get the name wrong, bear with me, I'm just going to check the exact word, and it's Alexis on Fire song. I'm really bad with names and song names just because I have so many, and I just, where you just forget about it, basically. Yeah, and bear with me if you've got 2 moments. Just bring it up now. It's on the Crisis album. So there's 2 songs I'll give you.
Okay.
One is Mutt by Blink-182.
Good song.
Yeah, underrated song in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
And the other one is This Could Be Anywhere in the World.
Oh yeah, another good one.
It's the drum beat in that. It's just
so good.
It's simple drum beat, but just yeah. For me, it would have to be those 2.
Again, both good songs. Yeah, awesome. But yeah, that's all I've got. So thanks for taking some time out of your morning to sit and chat.
No, thank you for your time.
I know that it's just